Welcome everyone to Orion Outreach. I'm Penny Shults and we have Pastor Rochelle Beckemeyer with Echo Christian Fellowship and Safe and Sound Ministries here in the ONTV studio to let you know what's going on in our community. Thank you, Pastor Rochelle. It's so good to have you here.
Penny, thank you so much for bringing me on. I really appreciate it. You've been a huge blessing to our ministries and to this community as well. So thank you for having me on.
Well, we were pretty excited to learn that you had time because I know you're a busy lady. You serve an underreached group of people in our community. So tell us what Echo Christian Fellowship does.
Wow. So Echo is a very small congregation in Lake Orion, and just about 10 years ago or so, it turned into a special needs church. Everybody at the congregation has either special needs or is a caregiver for special needs. And as folks come in and they become a part of a family. So the scripture tells us that the Lord places the lonely into families, right? And so that's what Echo is. It's become a family for those that just don't feel like they fit in anywhere else.
And where do you meet and when?
It's at 2840 West Clarkston Road in Lake Orion. So that's between Joslyn and Baldwin on Clarkston Road. And our services are on Saturdays from 2 p.m. till roughly 4 o'clock.
That's beautiful. And most of the people that come are picked up through the bus ministry.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. The Lord has blessed us with rusty but dusty, rusty but trusty.
Yes.
old bus. And so we go and pick up anywhere from 4 to 10 people on any given Saturday to pick them up to come to service. And ministry happens on the bus. So it's like the first person's picked up, church has started already. And so we spend more time on the bus than we do at the church, actually. But it's such a huge blessing, and they minister to one another, especially there on the bus. So it's beautiful.
That's amazing. And I would imagine, because you're serving people with some special needs, that you need volunteers.
Yes, absolutely. I mentioned that most of the congregation is special needs or caregiving, which is great, but they have that special job for those individuals that they're with. And so we could really use the help of individuals. You may think that you can't do it, but you can. I mean, if you got a working pair of hands and can respond to advice and direction, then please, we need your help. And it can be as little as 1 hour once a month, or certainly we can use people that are there more often. But we can absolutely use any able hands to come along and help.
Would you welcome a church in the area to come alongside you and help? Because you meet on Saturdays.
Yes.
And most congregations are holding their services on Sunday. Yes. What if a church wanted to get involved and be a support to the special needs community? What would you tell them to do? That
would be amazing. They could just reach out to me via email. Would probably be the best way to reach out to me that way, or you can also call or text me too. But that would be great, and we could sit down and talk about what that partnership might look like.
I like that. Yeah. Now, you also partner with other groups. I know AA is meeting there at Echo. They lined up with a mission statement to help people and talk about that. They've been there a long time.
They have. They've been there for over 10 years. It's New Beginnings AA. I think it's what they're just an AA group, and they've been there. They meet every day. They're there every morning and then most evenings, and then they also have some noontime meetings as well.
And the parking lot is packed.
It is. That was a vision that I had years ago. It's like, because with our little church, it was just, this is before it was special needs, we would meet, and it would just be that one little time. And I've had a number of people tell me at the time that were like, oh, we thought that church was closed down. It's like, no, we
vibrant.
meet. Yes. And so it's like just opening it up, and it was actually through the Orion Township. We were reached out and said, hey, we've got this AA group that needs a building. It's like, well, we got one. So they've been coming for quite some time. We also have another church that meets there on Sunday afternoons, Unidos en Cristo, Spanish-speaking congregation that meets there on Sundays at 4, I believe.
And everyone's welcome.
Oh, absolutely.
I love that.
Everyone is welcome.
Does Echo have a website or a Facebook page?
We do. Yep, we have both. We have so you can find Echo Christian Fellowship on Facebook.
Good.
And you can find our website is Echo Christian, so no dashes or spaces or anything. EchoChristian.us, like in United States.
I like that. Easy to get a hold of, because I know people are going to flood to volunteer.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that's a big deal because you're serving people with special needs. We need people to come alongside and serve you in the ministry and them as well. How rewarding. How amazing.
Absolutely. You're making a difference for sure.
Oh, every time. What if you got somebody with some special needs? Plug them in?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, yep, we have a variety of places that they can thrive as well as serve. We have one gentleman, he does our communion. So like he gets there a little bit early with his caregiver.
I love it.
And they pour the communion and have the cups ready to go.
That's beautiful. And you have families that are, their entire families coming.
Absolutely.
To help serve and be a part of what's happening at Echo
Absolutely.
Christian Fellowship.
Part of the worship.
Honoring God.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So you're a pastor, but you're also an author.
I am.
Will you tell us about
I
that?
am, absolutely. So I have to
Okay.
pick up the book. Here's the book. So the name of the book is The Glory of Kings, and the subtitle is An Invitation to Special Needs Pastoring. Because one thing that I found when I first started doing this, it's just people started coming. So it wasn't like I said, hey, special needs ministry, let's go. It was more people were there, and I recognized the need. And so and at first I thought that, oh, I can't, because I'm not trained. I don't have credentials. I don't have this or that. I wasn't qualified. I wasn't qualified to be a special needs minister. You are. Let me just tell you, you are. If you have that little doubt in your mind thinking like, well, I would do that except, just remove the except part,
Help.
because you can jump in, because there are so many ways that you can help and be a part. And that's part of what this is. It's just showing you, you jump in. Yeah, there are things you can learn and you need to learn, but you'll learn it. And so the book is a series of days of kind of like day in the life of special needs ministry. So you're engaging with it. It's sharing how the engagements go with different types of individuals with different issues. And then the rest of each chapter, the first part is the interaction. And then the second part of each chapter is a little bit of a lesson. So an example of a lesson is you don't need the credentials. You just show up and do it. So that is a big
willing.
part. Be willing to serve.
Lonnie is featured in this.
Oh, he
Let's
is.
talk about Lonnie.
Oh my gosh, he is precious. He's precious. Now he shows up as George, because I asked him if he wanted another name, but it's okay. But he is so special. I'm actually a guardian also. So he's my ward, and he has just a sweetness about him and a curiosity. So he will often start a conversation with, I have a question. So he has lots of questions, and we end up having some wonderful conversations. And he has a love for the Lord, but you wouldn't know it unless you ask the question. Say, hey, Lonnie, do you want to pray? And then he's ready. He's ready to pray, and and his prayers are just so precious and pure.
He makes people feel at ease.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that about him.
He does, and he goes out of his way to do that too. You make sure that you're comfortable.
Is Lonnie still a part of Safe and Sound Ministries?
Let's
absolutely. Talk about that.
Yeah, so Safe and Sound Ministries is a nonprofit that was started by out of Echo Christian Fellowship.
Okay.
And it was out of recognizing a need for folks that are higher functioning. They didn't really need 24-hour care.
All right.
But they needed safe housing. So they
adults
that needed safe and affordable housing, and so we started that ministry, and Lonnie was our first resident.
Yes.
And out there in the Oxford, it used to be the fish pantry, the fish food pantry.
It's beautiful. It was renovated.
It was renovated.
Amazing.
Yep. We had a contractor friend who renovated, turned it into a 5-bedroom home, and so Lonnie was our first resident, and so he lived there for a while. Then we got another home in Pontiac, and he lived there because he wanted to be closer to the city, and that was a better place for him. But then there came a time where it's like, you know what? I think he needed a little more care, and so it's open doors like that. It's
a
like
great transition.
Yep, and we transitioned him, helped him to transition, and found a home where it's still not that restrictive, but they can help him with his meds.
I like that.
So we just recognize it's individual based. It's like, what are your needs, and what can we do to help you, not just to meet your needs, but to fulfill your potential. What gifts has God given you, and how can we help you meet that?
So fulfilling your potential, regardless of your ability.
Yeah.
People have potential, and God wants to use everyone.
Absolutely. In fact, that's how the name of the book came about, The Glory of Kings. So in Proverbs, I believe it's 25, verse 2, it said, it is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but it is the glory of kings to seek out the matter, to dig those matters up. So that passage, I used to think of it in terms of Bible study, but I'm finding now it's in ministry with people, because the Lord has deposited treasure in people. And so I'm just out here, picking up treasure.
Yes.
And we find that in people that are overlooked very often, especially folks with mental illness. So I include them. Some won't include them in the class of folks with disabilities or mental or special needs, but absolutely folks with mental illness. And there's a lot of what's called dual diagnosis, like where they have a diminished capacity in one area, but mental illness comes along with it. It's just like they get the package deal.
And it's so kind and compassionate. But also the expectations are there that their giftings will be developed. I know there was a woman that moved into one of the Safe and Sound Ministry homes, and she basically wasn't able to do anything for herself because no one was drawing that out of her. But now she has a little part-time job. She's able to help serve her other housemates, and she is thriving.
She is. She is. She came from where she had been, I think, over 20 years, living in various really good group homes. So she was in good group homes. It's just like in that setting, though, there wasn't the expectation. She wasn't expected to do various things. And so now, she cooks. She likes to clean. So I mean, so she's not just made to clean, but she loves community. She loves to she stays out there in the dining room area, living room area, and so everybody that comes through gets to sit down and talk with her. And and she's thriving. So she and I go on little walks now and then too.
Oh, beautiful.
And so getting her outside.
Who are some of your local partnerships?
Oh, some local partnerships. You mean like the folks using our building, or
using the building, or other agencies that you contact to help you through some, because you've got a big demand.
Yes. So folks now are required to be already connected with an agency before they move into our Safe and Sound home.
So you're not on your own.
Exactly. And so because we learned some things.
You do.
So it's hard. It's a hard field. So agencies would be like TTI in Oxford. They are amazing, and they've been their staff come out to the home, and they meet with their clients. And then Easter Seals Mork is also very big, and we see them a lot more in Pontiac, in our home in Pontiac. And also CNS we see in Pontiac as well. CNS is another agency. And I think like some of the other churches, Clarkson United Methodist Church, they came and did a service project at our house in Pontiac and just renovated the home. They spent the whole week, and like an army came and took over for a week.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. And the Methodist Church in Thomas brings food.
They do. They're right across the street from our Thomas home.
Yes.
And so they deliver food. I think every other month they bring enough food for a meal for the group of us, and it usually ends up being enough for couple of meals.
Do you turn anybody away?
We don't, and it's not that we are able to move them in, but we will try to help them. Right. So it might be a no, but it's a no in a yes way, if that makes sense.
Sure, it
so
does.
We try to help them find
because
another place.
Where the resources are, and you have formed partnerships, and you're able to get people plugged in. It's not hopeless.
No, exactly.
What do you want to say to the parent that's struggling, that wants their child, their adult, to be in housing with somebody? What would you say to them?
They want them to be like in a group home or some type of setting. I would say go ahead and start making the phone calls. Reach out. You can reach out to us, and we'd be happy to walk alongside you, especially if it's an adult child and you're trying to decide whether to become their guardian. We can help with that. We've had some experience with guardianships, both as a guardian and helping others who are guardians, and they try to help you navigate that. There's a lot of help available. It won't always just be offered to you. Sometimes you have to ask and be willing to ask.
Do a little digging.
You are not alone. I think that's probably the biggest thing I would want them to know, that they aren't alone. You feel alone, but you're not. And we'd be happy to come alongside sometimes, just to be an ear for you to bounce ideas off of, and just to maybe cry a little bit. It's hard.
It is hard, but you help them carry the load, and God helps direct their steps. Amen. When we invite Him in.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key, is we got to open the door.
And let God
He's
in.
knocking.
Yes.
But we have to open the door.
You used to work for Chrysler.
I did.
And now you tell us a little bit about your role with Chrysler, and then what prompted you to do the full-time ministry work.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was with Chrysler, the various iterations of Chrysler. It's now Stellantis, and I was with them up until last September, so September of 2024. I was with them for 25 years.
Amazing.
10 years direct. I was 15 years as a contractor. I was in the purchasing department, but I was mostly IT. So like I worked I created programs and supported the programs, and supported other programs that helped the buyers to engage with suppliers and so forth. And so I was more of a techie. I was a tech person. So
yeah, you're very good at it too.
I love
you bring
Excel.
Order.
That's it. That's what we try to bring a little bit of order into the chaos.
I watch you do that with the people that come to church too, just to get them all together and let's get in there and worship the Lord.
Amen.
So if they want to come on Saturday, what do you say to them? Just come.
Just come. Just come.
Just as
I
you
would
are.
say check the website for sure, echochristian.us. There is a calendar on there, because We're small, so
And you
it's kind
take
of
church
fun.
on the road.
We do. We take church on the road quite often,
Good.
actually. So sometimes, we'll just pack up people in the bus and off we go. So
To a park.
we can go to a park.
For
we'll
baptisms.
go, and we've done absolutely, or for pizza and baptisms.
Sure.
So sometimes it can be a little flexible, but we update the website so that you know. So I would say if you're visiting, especially for the first time, and you don't have a bulletin telling you when the next thing is, check our website first, and then you'll know. Or you can just call me too and say, hey, you guys are meeting this week, right? So, but most weeks we're there on Saturdays at 2 p.m.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love Echo Church. It's a great sense of God's presence, but also the community. You know, there's almost any time you go there, there's something taking place, whether it's the Heartwise ministry on Fridays or the AA meetings throughout the day, every day of the week. People are being served, and it's good. And your heart is kind, and you're very welcoming. I appreciate that.
Yep. We're transformed by renewing of our minds, which is getting in contact with God, and he does. He can turn what seems like darkness into just tremendous light for not only yourself but for others too.
Yeah, for His glory.
Amen.
So you need sponsors. You need people to help, and everyone's always going through their resources that they have, and their hearts are generous, and they want to be a part of this ministry because maybe they have a family member that's being served in this way, or they can think of past experiences where they weren't, but they see you prospering. How can people get involved with that prospect?
All right. So there are a lot of ways to get involved. So there's the volunteering. So again, we can use people any amount of time that you're able to give of your time. We can also use donations for the Heartwise workshop. So those are craft supplies, paint supplies, new or used. We'll take it all. So that if we can absolutely use any of those crafting or art supplies, and finances as well. So the Safe and Sound Ministries does not have any paid staff. I am kind of paid because my housing is paid for through that ministry. So, but we would like to have some paid staff, have a paid executive director, have a paid case manager, because it's important to have that service. So we would like to get to where we have that. So to have, like committed donors that are doing a regular monthly donation, those would be helpful. But we also have a camp coming up from the Heartwise workshop. So we have a 2-day camp or 2-night camp coming up. It'll be in the spring, and we'd like to have sponsors for that. So for the campers, but also any caregivers that come along to volunteer, we don't want to make them pay for camp. So we want to pay for their camp.
But they need to be there.
And they need to be there. We can't do the camp without them. So then we also have a CNA. So she's a certified nurse's assistant. She's ready to do, and we're going to pay her one way or the other. But we want to have her on staff so that we have somebody dedicated to do that. We've done the camps before where I'm caregiving and doing the meds and doing everything, and then trying to teach too, and so we need to be able to have people that, and we want to honor their time, and absolutely volunteering is great, but we understand that sometimes, you can't necessarily know that this person is for sure going to be there. But when we have actually dedicated paid staff, it takes it to another level, and that's kind of where we are right now. We're at capacity as far as being able to grow or anything like that, just because this is where my capacity is.
Sure, and you have to be wise with what's been entrusted to you.
Yes.
So I'm trusting God to expand the ministry through the resources that flow into it. You've been faithful, and we're seeing the results of that, like Lonnie. He came and he was one of the first people, and then he moved into the new home there in Pontiac, and then he was able, through identifying some of his additional needs, and the other lady that moved in, she is prospering, and she's growing, and it's so good to see. But we need people, and we need resources, because this doesn't run on fumes.
No.
It runs on those things, right?
Absolutely.
So Pastor Rochelle, you are amazing because you're led by the Lord.
That's it.
And your heart says yes to Him.
Amen.
Yeah. People
Amen.
know you in the community. You've been around a long time. And you're a knitter of people and resources. And you don't waste anything.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Penny.
The other thing I was thinking of as we were talking and we're asking for volunteers, please know that this is an agency that vets the volunteers. They're very careful with who they allow to have impact or contact with the people there.
Absolutely.
And I like that. I went through the vetting process. They make sure that you are able, that you don't have a bad record, or they want to make sure where your resources are and that your heart is right.
Yeah, yep. So we, one area of volunteering that's needed is driving. And so we do require, legally it's not required to have any special license to drive one of our vehicles, but we do require a chauffeur's license, and we also we check your driving record. And do a background check, but then also we're now instituting some training to make sure, because we're finding where there are the gaps. So those credentials are nice, but can you engage with individuals with disabilities? And it requires a certain temperament to be able to drive in that situation.
I love it. Thank you for reminding us of that need. You drive the Nota-Bus, don't you?
I do.
Oh, let's chat about that. That's a new thing.
Yes.
So you're branching out in the people that you are helping.
Yes. Working for Nota has been a dream job. They're a very special nonprofit that serves a community, a huge need in the community. And it's been a dream job for some time for me. So when they gave me the call, I was like, I'd given up the hope that I was going to get to work for them, but they did call this spring, and so I started working for them. And it's absolutely part of the mission. It's part of what God's doing with me and with Echo and with everything, to be able to reach out in this community. And the need is so great, and it is vital to be able to get from one point to another, and with trusted transportation and folks that are trained, that are able to take care of you, and they're vetted very, very carefully. So I love it. I work part-time, mostly in the afternoons, like Monday through Thursday, and sometimes I get to work on a Sunday. That was my dream, is to be able, since our church is on Saturday, I'm available on Sundays, and so I'm actually working this Sunday. I'm so excited.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you for being ready to say yes.
Absolutely.
And being careful with what's been entrusted to you.
Amen, sister.
All right. Anything else
Penny.
that we didn't cover that I should just give you a few minutes to talk about?
I can't really think of any, Penny. I want to thank you and thank ONTV, this network, for the opportunity. You've always been in the township as well. Just has been careful about the special needs community. Like from the park and the baseball field and all of that. Just the wanting to serve and the willingness to serve. It's like, how can we help? And that's what I always hear from you as well. It's just like, well, how can I help? And so your willingness, and this community is a community. It's a family, and I love that. I love all of the events that are held here, like the Orion Arts and the Arts and Flower. It was windy and cold and rainy and all of that, but boy, people showed up.
Yes.
And I was like, boy, this community is hardcore.
Yeah.
It's like, we're showing up no matter what. There's got to be a tornado, and maybe even then we'll show up.
We're a hardy bunch.
Exactly. So that's one of the things I just love about this community, and it's such a privilege to be able to serve here.
It really is.
Yeah.
And what an honor to have you here in the studio
Thank
today.
you, Penny.
I know you're a busy lady, and we just see how God is using you. It's great to be able to just tell people about this and invite them to partner.
Come be a part.
Yeah.
It's a party. It's a party every week.
It really is. It's always interesting, never boring.
So I like to say that Echo, I guess we'll finish with this. I always like to say that Echo is like a box of chocolates, which, you think of Forrest Gump, but it's like a box of chocolates. Some are fruity, some are nutty, but they're all sweet.
Oh, they are all sweet. I've experienced that.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Pastor Rochelle.
Thank you, Penny.
Yeah, so this was a great program. I know you learned a lot about what's happening for our special needs community. I hope you enjoyed meeting with Pastor Rochelle today. I'm Penny Shults. Thanks for joining us.